Okay. Hi, Alma. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Vonvo.com and coming to speak about this important conflict between Israel and Palestine. I want to jump directly into some questions. What I will just say quickly, for the viewers who are watching, if anyone would like to join the conversation, there are two spots open inside of the room right now to join, and click the start speaking button. You need a webcam in order to do that, and also a good internet connection would be helpful. And then on top of that, you'll notice the different numbers beneath both mine and my screen and Alma's screen. That's designed to be a ranking system where you can give rank points to certain individuals. Alma, you are skyrocketing as we speak. You have 2 rank points already. So so we'll get started with the discussion right now. If there were some other speakers right now inside the conversation, I would lay out some ground rules, but because it's just me and you right now, we should be good to begin. Okay?
Sure.
All right, great. So, Alma, why don't you tell the viewers listening right now where exactly you're located, a little bit of your background, your religion, ethnicity, and so that people know exactly who we're speaking to. And anyone that's interested in me, I'm from New York. I'm Jewish, and I'm the owner of Vonvo.com and looking to drive these valuable conversations. But Alma, you can go ahead now.
Sure. So my name is Alma Shade. I'm from Palestine, from West Bank, from a city called Jenin. I was born in the United Arab Emirates, and I'm currently in Jordan because of my education.
Great.
I was born a Muslim, and I still choose to be a Muslim after studying about all religions. I should say that I'm very open-minded and willing to learn about everybody's backgrounds, cultures, and everything. So
great. It looks like we have an individual who has joined us. Arthur, how are you?
What's up, Max? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Are you interested in would you like to give everyone a background of yourself, and are you interested in participating for the next 45 minutes or so?
No, I was just kind of checking it out. I was seeing, because Alex was telling me about it.
Okay.
I was kind of just like, I'm listening in.
Okay, yeah, so that's fine. You can hang tight right there. And if you want to,
Right.
just hang tight, that's fine. Where are you from New York, Arthur?
Yeah, I'm from Hewlett, like Alex.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
I'm studying at the University of St. Andrews in the UK right now.
Okay, very cool. So we will then jump right into the discussion. And Arthur, if you ever have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask Alma. And for the most part, we're going to be hearing Alma's point of view on this entire conflict. Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, great. So Alma, let's jump right into it. A few weeks back, when the ceasefire occurred between Israelis and Palestinians, what were your thoughts on that? And what's your take on it now, a few weeks into it, with everything going on?
My thoughts about the ceasefire have happened because so many people were dying, and this is, of course, this is something that we humans don't want to happen. What I think about it a few weeks later is everything I thought about every time we had a ceasefire with Israel. Israel never commits to ceasefires, never commits to any promise or anything she does. Like, this state is just unfair and lies to everybody. Right after the ceasefire, the next day, there were 3 people killed, and every day after that, there were people, especially the fishermen, they were getting killed on the borders, not committing to ceasefire, I believe. Well, I'm not a big fan of Hamas, I should say, but they're probably not terrorists in my point. There are people who are trying to fight for their rights. I don't agree with their approaches, not everything they do, but of course, Israel is not committing to this ceasefire in any single way.
Right. So, do you think though?
Max, can I interject here for a second?
Yeah, go ahead and ask whatever you like.
I'm
Yes,
very,
sure.
I'd like to say, first of all, I'm very sympathetic to the Palestinian cause, even though I am also a Jew from New York. And can you even call this a ceasefire or anything? The Palestinians are shooting glorified bottle rockets at Israel, while Israel is bombing Palestine with bunker busting, um, taking out whole buildings with smart bombs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not an equal conflict here, and it's being blown up by Israel so that they can make this into an issue which they can steal from the Palestinians over.
Right. Okay. So now, do you
Well, it's
go ahead, Alma?
Steal
Go,
land, I'm saying, not money. Oh,
well the ceasefire we're talking about is just the one that was like at the end of November. It's not like a complete ceasefire. It's only a ceasefire for the word to say like, yeah, we're calming down now. The killing is not as before, but Israel is continuing to kill Palestinians in the West Bank and in Gaza. So
what I'm saying is there wasn't even a conflict. The Palestinians are shooting the Israelis with literally bottle rockets. There are videos all over line. These are rockets that are propped up with sticks and then shot off. There's not a professional war being fought by the Palestinians. And the response by Israel is completely unwarranted and completely out of proportion. And
Right.
being completely exacerbated by the media, by Israel itself.
right. So, guys, just before we just Alma, just quickly before we keep going, Arthur, what I just wanted to say is, if we can all just try and speak one at a time, because then the video will come out a lot clearer for other people. Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So let's just, if we could just keep it really organized, that'd be great. Alma, did you want to respond to what Arthur's saying, that Israel is coming back with a lot more extreme force than what's really being shown by the Palestinians?
for sure, like this is out of speaking. Israel has always done that. We don't have an army. We don't have weapons. The things that Palestinians throw at Israelis are something that, like, they don't even have labs to do that. They just make it, like, it's like firework or something.
Yeah.
Like, we're so used to that I don't even mention it.
Right.
On the other hand, though, Palestinians have dangerous ideas. You were talking before about Hamas not being a terrorist organization. The symbol of Hamas's party is a mushroom cloud. So Hamas is definitely not a benevolent organization in no way, shape, or form.
Right.
I'm not in a spot where I can defend or speak in the name of Hamas, but I can speak about myself, which I know many Palestinians think the way I do. I'm not a person who wants a two-state solution. I should say that before everything.
Yeah.
I will not give up the land of my grandfathers, which includes Haifa, Akka, Safad, Beersheba. All these cities are part of the historical Palestinian land. But on the other hand, I'm willing to live with anybody who's willing to live with me in peace and fair and justice in one state for everybody. This is the solution I see fair for everybody, where refugees can go back to their homes. I actually know many Palestinians who would actually share their houses with Israelis, or like the people we call Israelis.
Right.
If they are willing to live in peace with us. This is my point of view.
So,
and I just want to mention one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I can.
Go ahead.
Like, you both were saying, like, oh, we're Jews, but we think, like, Palestinians has the right or something. I believe we should think like humans before considering religion in anything.
I agree completely. Yeah.
Being a Muslim, although I'm a Muslim, if I see somebody trying to hurt a church, for example, I would stand against them. So this has nothing to do with religion, I should say. I have completely no problem with Jews, Jews are just people who follow a religion I respect, and that's all. But I definitely have a problem with Zionists because those are racist people, they are killers, and they're just not humans.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I have a question though. You say you won't give up the land of your forefathers, whatever that means. I would question the credibility of that statement just in the fact of it being the land of your forefathers. So many nations have ruled over that. So many peoples have gone through there. What would you say to Israel becoming a state of the UN? I'm just saying a hypothetical consensus is made where the UN controls Israel. Would you settle for that, or does it have to be an Arab-controlled land?
Actually, Israel is a state, and UN supports Israel already, so I have no saying of that. They already do.
A state's a very loose term, my friend. Just like Israel was made overnight by the British, I think in the international community.
Well, so can I interject, Arthur? Can I interject with a question, kind of for both of you that I think is being raised here?
Let's hear it, man.
Yeah. So Alma, you're saying that you don't support a two-state solution because you don't want to be subjected to certain territories, and you want the territories that your forefathers have been on. I mean, ultimately, in order to achieve a one-state solution, you always hear from from the Israeli side, we need Hamas to recognize Israel as a Jewish state. Do you think that one of the reasons why a one-state solution is not possible is because Hamas will just not live up to that statement because they want that land to be considered, Palestine? And are we just in an argument over a name of a piece of land at this point? Is that what it's kind of looking at like?
Well, the broader question
The name
is,
of that land.
Yeah, Arthur, you can respond. Arthur, you can respond, and then Alma, you can go after.
The broader problem there is a nation being defined by a religion. That shouldn't be allowed by the international community to exist anymore. We're in the 21st century here. Religion should be something that should be phasing out, being publicly ridiculed to the point where it is extinguished.
Do you agree with that, Alma? Do you agree with that, Alma?
To some extent.
To some extent, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I really just want to come back to that, the whole land of our fathers thing. It is real bullshit. It is real bullshit, especially coming from the Israeli side.
Arthur.
Because
Arthur, just one thing I wanted to throw out there. Before the conversation got started, I would, if it was just me and Alma, and I would have laid out some ground rules, just because I don't want to offend people and turn them off from Vonvo. Yeah. Can you just try and obviously not curse or anything, just obviously share your point.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Feel that. Well, back to what I was saying, the land of my forefathers thing. The Jews, after World War II, were literally on the cusp of taking Madagascar from the British instead of taking Palestine from the British. It was literally a choice that they had. They could have even settled in the Falkland Islands. I think that was even another compromise, where to put the war. So them saying, I don't really buy that whole my forefathers, why aren't the Palestinians equally represented in the government of that land?
Do you have any, Alma, do you want to respond to that, why you think that's the case?
I actually didn't get it. You mean which land exactly? How can we be represented? In which means?
No, I'm saying that the Palestinians are not equally represented in the government of the entire region. It's the same system going on right now as apartheid in South Africa. There's literally a war between the Jews and the Arabs.
Right.
Can I first try to present my point of saying this is the land of my grandfathers?
Yeah, let me hear it.
Okay. There's one main difference between we as Palestinians and the Israelis.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So we as Palestinians, we are a nation with various religions. We speak the same language. We eat the same kind of food. We have the same culture. We share everything. Okay.
Let's be real. You eat the same food as the Jews in Israel, also.
Well, I will.
Arthur,
I will point what I'm meaning to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the other hand, like Judaism is a religion. It's not a nation. We all realize that. There are people from different places, like all over the world. They don't have the right to say this is the land of our grandfathers because there are people who follow a religion. They are not a nation. When I say this is the land of my grandfather, I mean that if you want, I can send you some documents. Like my first grandfather was born in 1890. I have the IDs for him. He used to live there, as well as my great grandfather, his father, and his father, and I have proofs for that. We lived there forever.
Subjugated by the British, subjugated by the Turks, subjugated by every single person in the region. It's the same exact argument for Israel. It was never the Palestinian land, honestly. It was the Romans before it was the Jews.
So let's say you live in the States and somebody came to occupy you. Let's say Arab came to occupy you. Does that make you an Arab? If the Romans came to rule my land, that does make me a Roman. Turks came to my land and there was a Turkish empire. Does that make me a Turk? Of course not.
You're very, very mistaken in thinking that that's a similar example because the United States does not have a history of being dominated by foreign powers. For the entire history of that land of Palestine, it has been dominated by foreign powers. The entire history.
Okay.
So, for you to say literally the entire history, I don't think there's ever been an independent Palestine. Ever.
So
is
go.
I would call myself an inhabitant in that land. I don't care what do you call me. I have lived there since forever. This is the only land and only country I know.
So guys,
it have always been an Arab country.
And it's the same for millions of Israelis as well.
Since when? Since 1948. I'm not talking about 60, 70, or 80 years. I'm talking about thousands of years.
Do you think that Israeli
Jews there for thousands of years?
Alma, do you believe that Israelis and Jews make the same claims that, they've been on those lands for thousands of years as well? Do you think that's a respectable claim also?
Can I answer this by a question to you both?
Yeah, go ahead.
You both are Jews, as you mentioned before. If you want to make this argument, do you consider Israel your hometown, your home country, your whatever? Do you relate to it?
I'm American.
Yeah, no. Personally, I'm an American. When I was in Israel, when I was in Israel, I did relate to the country, but personally, no. Like I've been born in America, so American heritage is really what I know. You know what I mean? It's kind of
I think I might have an Ed Hardy shirt. That's about as Israeli as I get.
Okay, another question. Do you both know any Palestinians who live in the United States?
I know Arabs who live in the United States. And I know Palestinians who go to university with me here in the UK.
Well, but so...
Okay.
Alma, maybe explain what the difference is, because I think you wanted to respond to that. Why don't you just, explain?
Yeah. My point is, even if we we're not living in Palestine right now, we still know we are from there. We have the cultures that we inherited from Canaanites. We still dress the same way, eat the same way, live the same way, have the same culture. This is what I mean, you relate to that area. Palestine is part of the biggest Syria, which includes Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. So when you're saying like the land of Jews and the Jews make the same claim, I don't think Jews relate to that land like we do.
Well,
because they have never lived there like we did.
So
let me make this clear.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mind Jews living in that country. I don't mind if they want to live in peace with us. But they can never claim it's their country. Like the people, the Jews who were from there, like the ones they came from Egypt with Moses, does that make that land to them? Of course not. Right. If you're some American who live in the States and decided to convert to Judaism, does that make Palestine your land? Of course not. So how can they make that claim? It's just not.
Well, my
sense.
Can I throw some weight in here?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that before it was called Palestine, it was called Judea. I'm not trying to validate any of your claims of you guys having some right to the land, because honestly, that isn't just not true. It's just not true. But rivaling your same claims, the Jews have the exact same ones. The name Palestine was only thought up because the Jews revolted against the Romans. The Romans punished the Jews. It was Emperor Hadrian renamed it from Judea to Palestinia. Done. That's where Palestine comes from, the name. But otherwise, you have no claim greater than the Jews have to it. It just, you don't. There isn't. Your generations and generations might have lived there, but so have generations and generations. So have Christian generations and generations. So have pagan generations and generations. It's not your land. It's not the Jews' land. And what's crazy is that this conflict is able to put the entire Middle East in a swirl, and not just the Middle East, the entire world in a swirl over this tiny, insignificant patch of sand.
Well, okay. So yeah, Alma, if you'd like to respond, that's fine. I mean, I'll just do one, quick validation for Arthur. The one time that I was in Israel, there's definitely sand, but then there's definitely cities. So I mean, it's a very beautiful, country as a whole. And Alma, if you want to respond, to that. Otherwise, I'd like to then, if you want to respond to that, then I'd like to take the conversation into a little bit more of, future looking forward sort of thing. Okay?
Okay, sure. So first of all, as I was saying before, when I say Palestine, I mean that part of the country. The name would not really matter. I'm speaking about the people. The people are the ones who matter, obviously. So whether it was called Jud, we call it in Arabic Samira, which is the translate for that name. If it was called Palestine, if we just invent another name, I don't really care. Like Romania, Bulgaria, wherever place, or even from the Arab countries like Morocco, Yemen, Libya, all these Jews, they don't belong to that area. This is what I'm meaning. You're taking it to a whole different place. I'm not saying this land should be Palestine. We are called Palestinians. I don't care what my name is, but I do care to live in that place.
Argument here.
And because my grandfather lived there, and my great-grandfather lived there. The house of my family is 400. Every Jew, did your grandfather live there? If you say this land belongs to no one, then who are the people who built all these?
I'm Jewish and
the cultures.
Guys, you gotta speak. Guys, you gotta speak one at a time. Arthur, do you want to respond to that, and then we can, move the conversation forward into a new direction.
There's nothing really to respond to there. She asked me, are my grandfathers from Israel? No, they're not. But that's insignificant. The argument. completely.
Yeah.
And also,
you were saying it.
I think arguing over whose land this is such a moot point. It's so moot. What? Obviously, this argument has been played out 100 times over. We can go. It's a chicken versus the egg argument. Honestly,
right.
What came first? And it's just stupid to have the argument. I think.
Alma, do you agree with that? Alma, do you agree with that? That it is at this point in time stupid to have that argument of it's our land versus your land.
Well, it's definitely not stupid because there are about 3 million refugees who were living in that country called Palestine, and they live on the borders in Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, and they have absolutely no rights. Some of them are living in tents till now. These refugees have a right to go back to where they used to live. So it's definitely not stupid. Try living their life and tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, all my sympathy goes out to the Palestinians. 100%.
Sympathy will not make that.
I think Israel is in a well, honestly, I'm not going to say Israel. I think the Kadima party is a war hawk party that looks for conflict.
Right.
And I don't think that's even disputable. However, I think that we need to look at this debate with a sense of real politics and really say, yeah, the Palestinians are living in tents. I don't think it's really realistic them be making demands of Israel, who have weapons and tanks, weapons.
So
I think what we have to decide now is why isn't the international community pressuring Israel to allow the Arabs equal vote? An Arab, it does not count as much as a Jewish vote.
Right.
So there are millions of Arabs who are in Israel right now, and their vote is might as well be thrown in the garbage. It's not represented.
This
argument about who pissed here first is not productive. The argument we should be having is, where is the international community pressuring Israel, just like the international community pressured South Africa and apartheid ended?
Right. So, guys, I think Arthur, that's a good transition into moving into our next into some other questions. But I just wanted to maybe introduce and hear from Jehad. How are you, sir? Do you guys hear him on your end or no?
Can't hear him.
No.
Yeah, Jehad, it doesn't. Is your microphone plugged in, or we'll continue our conversation. If you can get your microphone fixed up, your mic isn't working on our end. So if you can try messing around with the settings and turning your mic on, we'll have you join in. Otherwise, we'll just continue speaking, and he can just act as a listener with his camera on. Okay, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. Cool. So. Yeah. So I guess what I'd like to then maybe move into a bit more is Arthur, you just brought up the concept of apartheid in Israel. So obviously I wanted to get both of your takes on that situation. Let's move into the first topic relating to it. What is your opinion on Israel? The Israeli government going ahead and building these settlements on what's considered, Palestinian lands. What are both of your guys' impressions on that?
Alma, do you want to take this one first, or?
Sure.
Go for it.
Building settlements is not something new, as we all know, and it's part of how Israel likes to punish us, let's say. it's not only the problem of taking lands and building settlements, it's also the problem of settlers themselves. For some reason, settlers are the most racist people. I've had many problems with them. Our cars are being hit by them. They are all armed. I have no idea why. And it's just nonsense. And it's really nonsense how even the world are not doing anything to stop that.
So
settlers are not the problem, but it's mainly one of the biggest problems we have. Our cities are parted out because of settlements. If I want to go from one place to another, I should take a much more time to get in to try to avoid these settlements.
So Alma, can I ask you a quick follow-up question on the point of settlements?
Yeah.
Okay. My question is if these settlements that were built, if we're talking that a one-state solution, a unified country is the solution that's needed to go forward. If these really nice-looking settlements were built and the people who built them would allow Palestinians to live on them, do you think Palestinians live inside of them? Do you think that would ease the tension and would, kill two birds with one stone, where it's like promoting, a higher standard of living for Palestinians to have better living conditions, and at the same time, eliminating it as more of a conflict, but rather like just, a helpful solution to allowing Palestinians to live better lives? Do you agree with that? Do you think that's possible, or?
How about if I say good morning to a settler, he would try to shoot me, and this really happened. So I don't think this would ever happen. Like, Palestinians will never be allowed to live in those settlements. And to be honest, even if they were allowed to live in them, I don't think they would.
And is that
because I agree. That's a ridiculous notion.
Well, what's the main reason behind this? Because these settlements are like very nice looking communities, right? So what's the main
racist zealots?
So it's caused by the people building them. It's caused by them.
Of course, houses.
So my question is then, if what happens if, do you think that's possible if there was more of the middle ground, objective Israelis that were building these settlements versus what you're saying are racist Israelis that are building these settlements? Do you think that would be a solution to work towards?
Not if the other things were still going on. Like, if we had a one-state solution, I think Jihad's microphone is working.
Oh, Jihad, your microphone is working now?
I'm sorry.
Jihad, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. You can click
Can you hear me?
Alma, do you hear him?
I hear him.
Yes.
Okay, great. Jihad, if you want, you can turn your camera back on. I don't know if you'd rather have the little avatar, or if you'd rather have your face shown, but just click the turn on camera button if you want your video to show.
Okay, I'm trying here. Oh, I got to get it before I start.
Okay. All right. So we'll just keep them. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. Jihad, did you want to chime in at all? Did you have anything to respond with what's been going on here?
Yeah, I was thinking about the existence of Israel from the beginning. It's not something that we have to talk about, because I just ask a question: what gives you the right to say this is Israel and this is Palestine? I mean, we've been there for so long. I mean, so long. I mean, you talk about hundreds of years, probably thousands of years for some. We've been there. So you just come and wipe out those people from that land, expel them to neighboring countries, and just make them live like homeless, like with no land. And you guys have even no feeling for these guys, for these families. They left and they live a poor life, and Jewish, they live actually a good life where they live in the same houses that it used to be for us, our houses. You know what I mean when I say our houses? I mean my grandfather built his house,
Max,
and
I feel
all of a sudden people came from
Yeah, well, we'll let Jehad
came from Poland, kick him out, and they took his house. I mean, the whole thing is like this. The whole Palestinian is like this. How do you explain that? I just need good explanation about that.
So,
well, just
by same houses.
You as a Jew, explain that to me.
Just a quick retort, maybe, is and what I think a lot of Kadima Party members might tell you is there are many places for Arabs. There's one place for Jews. That's not me supporting that position. I'm just saying that's the common response you would get from that.
There is so many places for Jews too.
Wait. Dangerously fast into the grandpa argument again, which is a moot point. I think.
Jehad, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Just because where you're coming into the conversation, we were kind of trying to move, into how to make this, correct, how to potentially correct the situation. I mean, I think you're definitely bringing up valid points, which, as respectfully, Arthur has shared with you what he thinks, other individuals would come back at that claim with. But Jehad, I just wanted to try and move a little bit forward into, what can be done going forward. Are you okay with that?
Okay, no problem. I'm just telling you, who gave the Jews the right to live on my land? I could move to any point you want. I could any point you want, but
right.
I just tell you, there is no right for the Jews to be on my land.
But so,
like I said,
okay, there is a lot of if they want to live with us, okay, this is my point. If they want to live with us, that's fine, but not.
Are you suggesting there's no Arab belligerence?
Religious association. Excuse me.
Are you suggesting that there's no Arab belligerence towards Jews? Because that's complete fallacy.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Listen, living with the Arabs for so long, okay? They've been with us for centuries, for hundreds of years, thousands of years. There is no problem, We have no problem living together in the same land, sharing the same land. But you guys establishing a state on the ruin of other people and kick the people out from their land and consider us as a terrorist at the end because actually we're fighting for our freedom because we don't have completely citizenship in Israel. I mean, I hate to call it Israel, but this is what it is now. So it's supposed to be the whole one Arab state. Okay, they want to live with us, Jew organization. They want to use the nuclear weapon. You said, wow.
Islamic, it will 100% evolve into a fascist organization.
What's wrong with the Sharia?
Can we stop over here? I did not offend Judaism in any way, so let's just not go to religion, please.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Sharia?
I mean, what's wrong with the Sharia? What's wrong with Hamas in the first place?
What's wrong with the Sharia? I don't think Alma would be in this conversation
Did you read?
And I value her opinion greatly.
Hold on, 1 second. Please, 1 second. Before you go further, Arthur, before you go speak religion stuff, You get a religion before you say anything about religion in Sharia.
Yes, please, because
if you didn't study the Sharia, you can't speak about it. You have to know what Sharia is.
Sir, I don't want to get into a theological debate with you.
No, all right,
guys.
This
debate is how we can make a political compromise, not a compromise based on religion.
Yeah.
I think that the Jews deserve just as much condemnation for their religious beliefs as Arabs do for theirs. I think religion in general is a destructive, terrible force that is driving violence in the area. And
Arthur,
I defend my right to criticize you for being religious.
Arthur, let me get Alma. Can you respond? And then Jehad, can you respond to Arthur's point where he's saying that religion is potentially the root cause and is continuing to drive this issue, for now decades and hundreds of years? Do you believe that that's the root cause at this moment right now? Alma, you go first.
Okay. First of all, I should say that my grandfather he's a sheikh. He studied in Al-Azhar. So he's pretty much a religious Muslim.
I'm not having a theological debate here.
So I'm just saying this is like an introduction to what I'm going to say. So I just want to say that your point about me being here would not be available. I'm telling you, I'm from a religious family. I'm right here talking to you. This is one. The second thing, as for me, I would not like my country to be related to any kind of religion. I don't want an Islamic state. I don't want a Christian state, nor a Jew.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Everybody, your religion is something. Your religion is a relationship between you and God. Religion is basically morals. So it's your business.
Right.
This is one. But you don't have the right for being religious. And this is one. The second thing, if you ask Palestinians, I don't think any of them would have any problem with any kind of religion. Or we Palestinians, we have Christians and Jews among us. The Palestinian Christians and Jews, Jesus was born in our country. So I don't think that would be a problem for us. So I don't think religion has anything to do with us. I think it's racism. Racist people, no matter what their backgrounds are because of this problem.
That religion plays no part in this conflict at all.
Yeah. So, guys.
No, I think.
Guys. Let's let.
Can I say my opinion here?
Yeah, Jehad, I want you to jump in here with your response to Arthur's comment, and then I have a really important question that I want to throw at everyone to answer. Okay, so let Jehad answer, and then let me ask my question because I think it ties in directly with what you're talking about. Okay.
I think the term of Islam, you guys have something about the terms of Islam mean submission. You know what? Submission to God, submission your will to God. This is what means Islam. Now, I don't consider the terms how they used to explain Islam in the media now in the 20th century as accurate, because they want to show the people Islam is a religion where is call for hatred and stuff like this. No. This is not.
All religions call for hatred.
The term of Islam is the term that I'm just telling you what's my religion. I know my religion better than you, Arthur. Excuse me. Okay.
Okay.
You don't know my religion.
Like I said, I'm not having a theological debate, but I don't think.
So my religion, Islam mean submission. Submit your will to God. This is what Islam means. Exactly. Okay. If you don't want to submit your will to God, that's something it's up to you. You know, it's up.
I ridicule you for submitting yourself
That's
to an imaginary figure.
That's
I
why.
ridicule you.
Okay. So the only religion in God, the only religion that God put on earth is Islam. Mean you submit your will to God. You have a free will.
God doesn't exist.
Every person. Okay. Every person. Hold on 1 second, please. Every person on this life have a free will. Okay. So you either have to believe or not. Okay. So.
I ridicule you for believing.
Jesus was Muslim. Jesus was Muslim. Moses was Muslim. Okay, not Muslim as they explain Muslim now. I'm telling you, Muslim with what I explained.
Moses or Jesus.
Mission.
Jihad. Okay, let me direct the conversation back.
So
Jihad.
Religion. Go ahead.
Max, I'd also like to rebut before you go.
Okay, I just think that we're trending back too much towards the religious item, which can go back and forth for hours and hours. What I want
Well, he said Sharia first. He said Sharia first. So okay. If he want to say Sharia, I have to defend my religion.
Oh no, of course,
I have to defend
of course.
You just can't throw words like this and move on. You know.
Yeah.
I have to explain. If he says something wrong about religion, you expect me to defend my religion. You expect me to have my time to explain what is my religion about, okay?
Yes.
Otherwise, he can't just say Sharia and just move on.
Yeah, no, and that's why I think you just shared your point with the people listening.
Can I quickly rebut?
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'd like to move into a new question.
I think you misunderstood my bringing up of Sharia as I think I was pretty much just poking fun at the idea of them holding up these Islamic values. Also, not as me knowing more about this imaginary code of God. However, I would just like to say that I ridicule you for believing in that, submitting yourself to this imaginary force that is interpreted by man, and it is anti-progress religion, and it is taking the human race backward and not forward. So I think it's something that needs to be.
So you don't believe. So actually, you don't believe in God. So bottom line, you don't believe in God.
I don't believe in God.
So you don't believe in God.
I don't think God has a place in this debate.
So who give you the right? If you don't believe in God, so who would give you the right to be in the Holy Land, as you call it, Holy Land? If you don't believe in God, why you defend Israel? Israel is established based on religious issues.
So this isn't a debate whether God exists or not.
Israel exists based on religious issue, Barry.
And that is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing.
So Alma, I was gonna move into okay, I was gonna move into a new question. But before I move into that question, and Arthur and Jihad, I mean, I just want to repeat, if we can each allow, everyone to get their time to speak and not speak over one another, because then the video doesn't come out well, okay? So just, speak one at a time. Alma, I want to pose a question that's inside the text chat to you. If you scroll down and you look at the text writing in the text chat, if you look at Katie C, she writes a question. I just finished reading Jihad and Genocide. Islam says one is honorable for removal of any subhuman not on board with this single religious perspective. Is that something that you believe in? Is that something that is spread? Is that something that is spread throughout? The Muslim religion? And do you think that ultimately that thought is a driving force in why this conflict continues?
Honestly, I don't think that way, and Islam is not that as well. Because if Islam was about that and jihad was about that, you would not see any single person who's not Muslim living among us. This is not true. We were not raised that way. Islam does not say that. Let me make this clear. I think even some Muslims doesn't understand Islam well. Let me quote the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for one saying. And I think he's our reference in speaking about Islam, if you agree with me. He says, to be a Muslim is to be someone who have good ethics for humans. This is everything I can say about this. And I think we should go back to the topic we were speaking about, because this is so irrelevant.
I agree. So I want to go directly back to the actual controversy between Israel and Palestine. Okay, guys, and the question is, and you can each answer it individually. Jehad, we'll start with you. The way it seems to be being painted in this conversation and my past one is that there are radical, extreme, viewpoints on the Israeli end, and then there are radical, extremist views on the Palestinian front. Okay, and I've been speaking to various individuals in the middle, Palestinians and Israelis, that are all about just let's get this conflict over with, and let's just live peacefully. Do you think then, ultimately knowing that that right now this is just a conflict and a crisis between two very small minorities on each side that's causing this controversy? Do you believe that might be one of the root causes right now? And then everyone, if you could just each answer that quickly.
Who wants to take it first?
You want me to speak?
Yeah, go Jehad.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe in the existence of Israel in the first place. I used to, after I got to know the truth, and I start to know how Israel became Israel and who lives actually in Israel. I start to believe that Israel should not be exist. But you call Palestinians extremists. I don't believe that any Palestinian. First, the Palestinians is part of the Arab. Okay, I don't believe in Palestinian state, period. I don't believe in this term. I believe in one Arab state with united parts, like probably united, you could say as much as you say United States, you could say United Arab State. It's the same thing. One leadership for the whole entire country. Now, Britain and West, they came to divide these countries. Okay, they came to divide. They make state like Syria, like Egypt, like Jordan, and they brought some individuals and put them as leaders. Okay, and actually these leaders were very corrupted. Okay, so I don't believe there is something called individual Arab independent state. So this is bullshit for me. I believe in the whole state. So if you ask me about Israel, I don't believe in Israel. If you ask me about the Jews, I said, yeah, the Jews have the right to live in peace, in security, but inside the border, if they choose to, inside the border of one Arab state. Okay,
So
pretty much 21 Arab state country.
So I think Jehad, that's fine. Arthur, I saw you put a post on the bottom in the text chat, which I think is a valid point, and I'd like to ask it to Alma because she just heard Jehad's answer. And Alma, if you look at the text chat, Arthur wrote a line saying, how can we have a debate about coexistence be fruitful if one of the other parties doesn't acknowledge the other one's existence? After hearing what Jehad just said, do you think that's a valid point? Like, how can we talk about coexistence when people, people have viewpoints like Jehad where, they don't really want to allow the other to have their coexistence as a country? How would you respond to that?
I didn't say that. I didn't
Yeah,
say,
I will.
You could be.
Jihad, can you let me speak about this? I know what you mean, and I will explain it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jihad was saying about the coexistence of Israel as a country. He was not talking about the people. We're going on the names again. The people are the one who matters. And he said if Jews want to live in that place, they have the right to. If they want to live in peace, in justice, as they did before, as many of them did before. They lived among us. But the state of Israel, it is now, it didn't exist. It's a racist state. It's just a state of apartheid. We're not talking about the people who want to live in that place. We're talking about the concept of Israel.
What
so
about?
It's not. Yeah. He's not denying them the existence. He's saying this racist apartheid state did not exist, and this is any human who has sense would say that.
Yeah. No. I definitely hear what you're saying. Yeah. Go ahead, Arthur. You can respond. Yeah, go ahead.
Alma, I think I've said it multiple times that I don't support Israel's existence as an apartheid state, and I've said repeatedly in this debate that the international community should pressure Israel to give full, complete citizenship to Arabs within the state. So I just wanted to address a point that Jehad made. About this pan-Arab union. It seems, honestly, like the most ridiculous thing in the entire world to me. If anyone is further from supporting the Palestinians, it's the surrounding Arab nations who close down their borders, provide no aid, and bar the Palestinians as immigrants.
Why did they?
Palestinians have tried to cross into Egypt, have tried to cross into Jordan, have tried to cross into Syria, are met with Arab military resistance. So I think one of the Arabs' worst enemies are themselves.
How do you guys respond to that? How do you respond to that, Jehad and Alma?
Can I do that? Can I do that again? I'm sorry, Jehad.
Yeah. Okay, let him finish. Yeah. Let him finish. Let him finish his point, and then Alma and Jehad, please respond to that. Okay.
Also, Max, I really liked the point that you made of the two extreme wings of both states.
Yes.
Because and Alma's point of it is the people, but I think the Palestinian people are being thrown under the bus by Hamas, who's taking Iranian money to wage conflict, to start conflict, and they don't. You think they care about the welfare of the Palestinian people? I put it to you that they don't. On the same side, the extreme wing of Zionist Israelis is getting the money to build these giant lavish settlements from somewhere, and you know where it's from? The United States.
Yeah.
So both wings, extreme wings of these parties, are supported by outside bodies who have no regard for the intermediate people. So let's not make some plea to the heart here about us not caring. We're arguing real politic here, not about the idealized world.
Yeah. So
and now that I bring up real politic, about you guys maybe not recognizing the legitimacy of Israel. Israel is there with guns and weapons, and they're not going anywhere. So you might as well recognize them. You know, I don't understand how you guys think it's fruitful to make this legitimacy argument.
Okay, yeah.
So should I just
Yeah.
should I just wait for my turn to talk?
Yeah. Arthur, let's let Alma.
Respond. I listen to you speak and I listen to Jehad speak. Now
I did not interrupt you. I thought you were finished. I thought you just finished talking. Sorry. Okay.
I am.
So, pointing out for the Arabs at first, I can agree with you that this was it was politics at first, and like many people would hate me for saying that, but many Arab leaders were in cooperation with the Zionists doing what they did. But I do know that Arabs, the people, again, they would not turn their backs for us. Okay? And we're nice people. We would go back to them.
Yeah, Arthur, let Alma finish.
It's just false.
And I think what Jihad was saying, it was something that existed before, and this is our aim for the future. We want to live in one Arab unite country, and this should not be a problem, but I don't think this will be, it's just like an Arab dream that I hope will be true one day, but I think this is a very far future dream. And like about speaking about the extremists on every part, I agree there are some extremists of every part, but I should aim this to you. In Israel, like 90% of people are extremists. I'm telling you this. Well, it's not on our side. Let's say politicians in any side of it. Believe me, I live there. I know how people are there. And there's one of my cousins speak tomorrow. She will tell you about, she's German and she went there. And she had some very, very bad experiences. I'm saying there are many left-wing Israelis who are cooperating with us because they're seeing what is happening. One of them, he was dumped by his own parents because he was supporting Palestinians. Anyhow, I think being an extremist in anything would be bad. So we should put that aside. We should put racism aside, and we just should think like humans. Believe me, I will say humans too many times because I was raised to think like a human. I want every single right for everyone.
Right.
I want to live in peace. I want my neighbor to live in peace. I want my friends to live in peace. But don't try to convince me to accept Israel because they have army and everything. So what? I should just be a coward and sit and wait for my turn to be killed? Because a lot of my family were killed, a lot of my friends were killed and arrested. I would just not accept them because they are strong. I will fight for my rights.
Right. Now, Jihad, can I ask you, Jihad, can I ask you a question off of Alma's one thing that was brought up before? Has there been resistance from these other Arab nations to allow Palestinians to come into their borders, and what's the reason behind that, Jihad? And I don't know where are you speaking from. Maybe you have like a personal, obviously you have a personal opinion about it, but maybe you have like personal experience knowing about that situation.
You mean resistance that other Arab country allow Palestinians to do things from their land?
Correct. Yeah, going in, trying to,
I don't believe resistance in the way they see it now. I believe first in make one Islamic nation, Arab nation with Islam as a part of religion, and I believe that victory comes from our God. This is my belief. I don't believe that resistance in the way that they explain it in the media now is the way that I be thinking about it. You ask about my opinion.
Got it.
Max, I'd like to
But
rebuttal.
I don't believe of any of these countries. Like if you ask me about the ruler in Jordan, I tell you the ruler in Jordan is not less corrupted than Israel, or the one in Syria is the same, an example,
Right.
or the one in Lebanon, one in Gulf and Saudi, or any of these countries. I don't believe these countries have a pure money. I think they all have dirty money and they have their agenda. So I'm not gonna follow any of these countries because at the end they follow to one national agenda, and they don't actually serve my purpose. Okay, what I believe in, like I told you, one Arab state. You could say Islamic state is fine, but not as the Islamic as you might think, because what they explain, as I said, what they explain Islam here in media is not the real Islam.
Okay, so just
Islam
Max, I'd
actually.
really like to rebuttal.
yeah, go ahead, Arthur.
Actually, I believe in. I believe in the Muslim Brotherhood. They are the one who is presenting Islam. I'm talking about Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt.
In Egypt, yep.
I think they are the most.
Yeah, you'll go next,
are the
Arthur.
most closest to the Muslims,
Okay.
But other Muslims, no, I don't consider any resistance like PLO.
Okay.
Or any.
Got it. So,
I think
Arthur, why don't you respond to? You said you had a point that you want to bring up, and then we'll move into the next question.
I'd like to rebuttal to Jehad right here. Firstly, I'd like to point out that immediately, I think all of us in the debate can see that there's a double standard in Jehad's argument, as he argues, for one, a grand Arab state defined by, I think he said, with a Muslim, defined by Islamic religion, and then he denounces Israel for being defined as a Jewish state. Right off the bat, I'd just like to point out that hypocrisy. Second of all, that was a dodge of my first point without depth, sir. And you didn't address the point at all that the Palestinians, on many occasions, have been pushed up against the Jordanian border, have been pushed up against the Egyptian border, and have been met with military response to keep them from crossing into the Arab nations. So when you were talking about, you made this made this rant about resistance, but you didn't address that the resistance is coming from these Arab states, has come from these Arab states when the Palestinians tried to cross their borders. So these Arab states are not looking in the interest of these people. They are stimulating the conflict, which brings attention to the area.
Very interesting. Very interesting point. Can I bring up a very?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Max, I'd also like to just clarify something. When Jehad outlines this Islamic pan-Arab state, I think what that is kind of slipping under the rug is the reinstatement of what's called the Caliphate, or the Muslim Islamic Empire, which I'll let you do your own research on that, is a very dangerous concept.
Okay. Can I ask?
Extremist and dangerous concept. And I challenge you, Jehad. I challenge you.
Why is it dangerous concept? Why Khalifa is a dangerous concept? Why?
Why is that? Because
this is our dream. Yeah, why?
Inherently in the Caliphate is a doctrine of evangelism. And evangelism is forcing your religious beliefs on other people.
True.
Oh, you can deny it as much as you want, sir. Sir, let's keep this debate with facts. Let's keep this debate with facts.
Okay, can I bring up an important...
I'd like you to address, why do the Jordanians not let the Palestinians in? Why do the Egyptians meet the Palestinians on the border with military force?
Do you have any... Alma, do you know what the reason for that is? You live in Jordan. What is the reason for that?
The reason is that if this would happen, then the governments here would lose their roles, and nobody wants to lose that. They want just the rulers here.
Can you? Okay.
What is it?
Say that one more time.
I'm saying, as I stated before, what jihad is saying is a dream for people, not for the governments and for the presidents of the Arab countries.
Right.
So, of course, they will not support Palestinians because this means they will piss off America and they will lose their role over here. And there's no president would love this to happen.
Okay,
on the other hand,
the
people...
Alma, finish your point.
These...
Yeah. This is what I wanted to say. If you're asking why are not supporting Palestinians.
Okay.
Governments does not want this to happen. People do.
Did you not previously say that you couldn't believe that other Arab governments would turn their back on the Palestinians, and now you're justifying them turning their back on them?
I'm not justifying the governments. I'm telling you about the people. Could you keep track of that? I'm saying governments will never support Palestinians' military. They will just make announcements.
Well,
but otherwise, people would.
Is actually...
Go ahead, Jihad.
Government is
people are represented by governments, Alba. I hate to tell you, this is this idealized world we're living in.
I'm sorry, but yeah, we're not very democratic in that. Most of the presidents have been here for years.
I agree that you're not running a very democratic show over there. However, I would just like to say that when you're making these arguments about the people, when you're dealing in international relations, you can't deal on a personal level. Well, like I don't understand what world are you coming from? You have to deal with organized bodies.
It's an interesting point, Jihad.
Okay, you're asking. You were asking me about what I think.
Alma, can I say something, Alma?
No.
Okay, we dealing with the organized body. That's true, Arthur. We dealing with the organized body. That's why we took Gaddafi down. That's why we took Mubarak down. That's why we took Ben Ali down. That's why we took them all. These body will take them down. We will take Bashar al-Assad down. We will make one organization body called United Arab States. And then you guys gonna deal with one United Arab States. This is the body you guys will deal with it, okay?
I'm shaking in my boots.
We don't consider, sir. We don't consider this government as a body that represent us. They are puppies for Israel.
Okay,
you know this,
guys. Okay, guys. I need to interject here quickly. I need to interject because. In about 20 minutes, I'm speaking with another individual for a scheduled discussion. So I just wanted to put you on alert about that. I'll stay in this conversation for another 10 minutes or so. You guys are welcome to continue speaking. But the one thing that and you guys are welcome to come into the next room that goes on about this topic in 20 minutes. What I wanted to ask you though is this. I wanted to throw in a question about the media, the corporate media, the CNNs, the Al Jazeeras, and I want to ask each of you guys this question individually because it relates to Vonvo and what we're trying to do here on our website. Do you think that the corporate media is turning this crisis, is constantly, pushing this crisis backwards and is not having any sort of valuable play in making this situation right? And on top of that, do you think that places like Vonvo, where you guys can have this healthy discussion, and a healthy discussion by actual citizens with an opinion, do you think that is a better route to take in trying to solve this sort of crisis? And Alma, I'll ask you that first.
Yes. So I totally agree that the media, including Al Jazeera, CNN, BBC, are pushing this backwards because they're not being objective on both sides. If you're a journalist, you should be more objective. You should state facts and not be driven by your emotions. And I think this is what's happening in media now. Like on the Arab media, they would never show you those left side Israelis who are coming to help the Palestinians. There are some of them now. I know many of them are my friends. I would love to see them on Arab TV now, because even Arabs should know that there are Israelis are humans at the end of the time, and if they know what is really happening and they're told about the other side, some of them would just take the right side. They would be with the truth and justice. And this is what's happening. So having such kind of conversations would even let people come more together, because, some people in Israel have never met an Arab and talked to them. And so on the Palestinian side, they're just afraid of each other that they would not even to talk like normal human beings.
Right.
So this is very important if we're considering this coexistence between these two nations together.
Great.
This is what I think.
Can we ask Arthur, same question to you. Can you address that?
Yeah, I'd like to address it. I would like to just say that this notion of media bias with this corporate media is come to a cliche at this point, especially with the Israel-Palestine conflict. I live in the UK. I live in Scotland currently. I watch the BBC, which is the antithesis of corporate media. It's paid for by taxes of citizens, run completely independent of government, of profit motive, and I still see the same view that I would see watching CNN or even Fox, but I think as far as it pertaining to Vonvo, this is a great medium for the exchange of ideas, and when you're exchanging ideas, it promotes liberalism, and I love the site. I'm definitely gonna revisit it.
Great.
I'd also like to thank Jehad, thank you Max, and thank you Alma. I have to go right now. I'm going to dinner. But it's been a stimulating debate. I'll see you.
All right, great. You could just click exit.
Bon appetit.
Great, and you could just click exit Vonvo, Arthur, if you have to leave. Jehad, I'll ask you that last question as well.
For me?
Yeah, the same question that each person's been addressing.
Well, yeah, actually, I don't believe that much in media. I watch media, but I don't believe that much in what they're saying. A lot of times they say things, in the way that they wanted to say it. I believe in sort of it, not all of it though, but not the whole thing. I am careful of what I hear and what they be saying exactly, because I believe they hide a lot of truth, and they bring a lot of agenda and a lot of that behind the curtains. So yeah, I don't believe that much in everything they're saying, but like I said, I watch most of the channels. I watch most of the news, but I don't have to believe in it.
Right. Okay. And do you think, Jehad, that these sorts of platforms for actual citizens to participate in this type of discussion will go a much further way in trying to solve this sort of crisis with a solutions oriented discussion like this will go further than the politicians and the governments actually, trying to achieve some peace?
Oh, this platform always good. You talk to people. This is actually something new. I just something that I heard from a friend on book, and I was coming to see what he's going to say with his debate with an Israeli guy.
Yeah.
But when I see Alma alone fighting here, I decide, I want to join her and give her a hand.
I was not fighting.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave her alone. So I'm just saying, no, I'm not me fighting. So anyway, I think it's good idea.
All right, great. Good idea.
But the purpose, I don't know. The results, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to think about this.
All right, great. So I know this is Katie who has entered the room, although I know his real name is Cliff. Cliff, did you want to respond to any of this? I don't know how long you've been listening.
I've been listening a long time. I enjoyed every minute of it. I love the dialogue. The thing that I think the three of us will agree to, Jehad.
I cannot hear him.
Oh, do you hear me at all?
I hear you, Cliff. I hear you.
Now.
How about I move closer?
Now I do.
Okay. The one thing that I think the three of us will agree, even if we disagree on any principles 100%, the one thing that I think we do end up agreeing on is, as individual citizens, how weak we end up feeling actually trying to make an impact on our feelings in our own countries. I'm in New York right this minute, and I feel no matter what my opinion, there are times I just can't not only be heard, because we can speak on a platform like this, but be effective. Jehad, I'm sure there are things you would like to actually get implemented and have people hear you, and not only just hear your words, but have an impact on moving forward. And I just think we citizens, all of us, after a period of time, feel so weak and so disenchanted that it's hard for us to remain energetic and feeling we can have an impact in the future. It just starts to wear us all down.
What do you think about that, guys? Alma, do you want to respond to that?
Well, it's true, but for me, I would never give up, because this thing touched my people, it touched my family, it touched me personally on a daily basis. So I will try to do whatever possible to help in this case. And even if only representing a Palestinian girl who lives there and who's from there would do good, I would just do that. But I will try any possible way to make this a better situation for everybody, because this is what is to be.
Right. Very good. Jehad, did you want to respond to that, Jehad, or you're pretty much in agreement?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Katie.
Great. Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, I have to unfortunately run to another conversation. It's happening in a few minutes. If you guys want to continue the discussion, you are welcome to. I thought that went great. Thank you so much, Jehad, for joining in. Alma, thank you so much for scheduling the discussion beforehand. And I'm happy with how that conversation turned out. We heard both sides of the issue here, and I think there's a few points that everyone seems to be agreeing on. So thank you so much. If you're interested in listening to the next conversation, it's happening in 10 minutes. I'm going to probably create a new room about it. But you guys can feel free to continue talking. I just want to get out of this room so that I can just make sure the other individual is able to get onto the site properly. Is that okay?
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Alma and Jehad, I'd love to ask you a question to go stay for a moment.
Sure.